For centuries, men and women have stepped away from the table to fast, to pray, to seek something deeper. But what does a 40-day fast look like today? I'm Dr. Sam King of Fasting, and in this podcast, I invite you to walk with four ordinary people on an extraordinary journey.
All right, welcome back to day 4, 96 hours. You are 10% done. Congratulations. That's how I had to do the math in my brain. I had to do percentages. And so every 2 days is 5%. So 10% done. And believe it or not, pretty soon, before you know it, you'll be 90% done. Hard to believe on day 4. But I want to give you some encouragement on day 4. And they did this research study over 1,422 subjects. They had them fast for 4 to 21 days. They saw that it was safe. They had health improvements, and their well-being during those 4 to 21 days fast period was improved. They had an initial score at the beginning, and they ranked their emotional well-being and their physical well-being, how they felt emotionally and how they felt physically. And it actually got to perfect level, down day 4 to day 5. And it just kind of stayed up way better above baseline for over 1,000 people. And so fasting actually can help you not only improve how you feel, if you feel bad about yourself, it can actually help with your just how you feel better. It can make you feel physically and emotionally better. And it's hard to believe that I'm going to not eat for 4 days and I'm going to feel better in 4 days. It's amazing. And people talk about how great they feel on day 4 with no food. When I did my initial fast, I didn't actually think that when I was going to fast for a few days, I was like, if I lose anything in the gym, I'm out. And I remember doing all my lifting on day 1. And then on day 4, I was stronger because my human growth hormone was up. I was tapped into my energy reserves of fat, and I was amazing. I felt great. And as evidence of that, Davey on day 4 says, I felt like Superman today. And remember, day 3 was awful for him. So I want to give you some encouragement about that. And your verse today, actually, the Beatitudes, Matthew 6, 17 and 18. But you, when you fast, anoint your head and wash your face, so that your fasting will not be noticed by men, but by your Father who's in secret. And your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. You'll tell certain people you fast, and you don't need to tell everybody. Most people won't even know. And when I did my 45-day fast, only 5 or 6 people actually even knew. Brianne obviously knew right away. Somebody else, some other friends who told them on day 2. Chelsea, who'd already done one, I didn't tell her till day 19. Most people I work with didn't know because, one, they're not there in the morning when I would eat breakfast. They're eating breakfast. I typically work through lunch, so that wasn't, fasting is pretty normal now. So you can say, I'm just fasting. And they're not home when I would normally dinner. Most people just didn't know. Now you can choose to tell people or not tell people. But for the most part, I just don't tell people. Unless I'm supposed to tell someone. Sometimes we're supposed to tell people and talk about it. Use it as your guide. Most people will never even know. And it isn't until you lose about 30 pounds that people will start to notice. So they'll be like, wait a minute. I had 4 or 5 people kind of noticed I lost when I got later in my fast that I'd lost weight. But for the most part, people won't notice. So that's it can be encouraging and discouraging in the same way. It's people don't even know I'm fasting. It's yeah, because you're just going to go about your normal life and you're going to feel great and you're going to be just fine. But also you're I'm losing all this weight and nobody even notices because it takes about 30 pounds people notice. And so if you don't have 30 pounds to even lose, people may not even notice it. And you're going to lose about 1/2 pound a day. So it may take, so you got 7 days, that's 3.5 pounds. Now you're going to lose some water weight at the very beginning, and you're going to kind of lose it a little. You're going to kind of stagnate out and lose less and less. So that's why I recommend weighing once a week, because it can get discouraging if you see the scale. It's going to drop fast from the beginning. It drops really fast for men, which is frustrating for women because our weight drops faster. But at the end point is about the same. But that initial drop, and we slow down. Women kind of have a more gradual. So just be aware of that. But most people won't notice. So what's going on in your body? You start to feel better. Your body's starting to be better. It's starting to clean up some of that old stuff. You're starting to get rid of some of that old nasty gunk in your gut. It's starting to feel better. Starting to kill all those old cells. And it's starting to tighten up those little pinch points, that loose skin. So Davey felt like Superman. Chelsea's brain fog was completely gone at this point. And here's another thing. So we live in the Midwest, so we don't always have Dairy Queen. We have Dairy King. So they went to Dairy King with her parents. And she wasn't, at this point, your ghrelin hormone is completely defeated. You can usually smell foods, you can recognize them, but not usually a concern. But the disappointing thing is foods you really used to like that are highly processed, they have no appeal. And so she smelled the food and it didn't even look good or appetizing at all. And I've broken fast with fast food, and you're like, that was not worth it. So you'll start to actually crave and desire real food that actually God created. On my day 4, I was a little worn out after my gallbladder cleanse. My hands and feet were still cold, which means I was still in ketosis. I still had the keto breath. I had some ginger tea. Brienne made herself garlic, potatoes, onions, and ground buffalo, and sat next to me and eat it. Didn't bother me at all. A headache is basically gone after my bone broth and some caffeine. The interesting thing for me on day 4 is I usually get one weird craving, like just for like a minute. And it's really odd. And it's really like something like some sort of thing I haven't had in a long time. So when I used to eat these little mini Schwann's Supreme pizzas when I was in high school. And that's usually when I get a craving for that thing that I haven't had in, 30 years. It's like, I'll crave it for like a minute, and there's no way for me to even go get it because I don't even have to chase down a Schwann's truck, so I have to find one. And 2, there's just no way for me. It's just I have these weird random cravings on day 4. I don't know why that is for me, and it's something. It's usually not something that's any good for me, and it's usually just like 1 second, and then a minute, and then it's gone. I did go for a walk that day. I walked a mile. I ended up sipping some bone broth. That the cleanse kind of wiped me out, and my total calories that day for 195, and just to give you I was in keto, I had keto breath, I still had cold hands and feet, and my keto breath was strong. Brienne says it was like kissing nail polish. So there you go. It's important to realize, these kind of things. You're encouraged to brush your teeth more, but yeah, your keto breath can get really strong. So apparently like nail polish. So I don't think that was meant as complimentary, but I don't really know. And then on day 4, so Brienne had a rough 3 days, and now we're back. And she had day 4. And on day 4 was day 1 of her cycle. So she had a rough first week, but she was called to do this. She did get a song in the night that she played called Holy Water that helped. And she had an answer to prayer. And this is what her answer to prayer was. Daughter, you are not alone. I'm right here. Come walk with me and listen. You are pushing me away. Surrender. Come, you need truth. I never promised anything would be easy, only that you need me and my strength. Surrender your pain, your disappointment, your anger, and your struggle. How? Bring them to Jesus. You're not alone. It's very real right there. I think we've all been in that. We've all been in that at some point. And she was deep into it. Not only is she not eating in 3 days, then her cycle started. It was rough. But you'll see that it does get better for her and does get better for us. We have our victories and we have our defeats. And part of it is because we're being refined to something God wants us to be. And sometimes it's painful, but it also is better. If you've been called to do this, but you're struggling, remember, pray. And remember that this is supposed to be encouraging to you because other people have gone through it. And so if you feel like you're still called to continue your fast, then there are points of pain, but also points of happiness. There's a reason why there's the struggle, because you understand it. And I'm just wanting to give you this. I want to tell you these things because we all struggle and we need points of encouragement, especially in our pain. So if you're supposed to continue, please do, and continue with me on day 5 tomorrow.